I'm in Brixham, a fishing port on the south coast of Devon in the UK. We're going to be walking today eastwards along the coast path in the direction of Paignton and Torquay. On the frontier we have this large statue to William, Prince of Orange, who apparently landed near this spot and became the King of England, William III. Also here is a replica of the Golden Hind, which you can go round for some exorbitant price. Brixham is still an active fishing port. In the high season, this place will be packed with tourists, but we're fortunate to find a rather lovely day in the low season. We followed the path round the back of this fish processing plant, and now we're starting on the path proper. We're getting some lovely views across the harbour and estuary here. And this is the direction that we're going to be walking in. We've walked less than half a mile and now we're looking right across the bay here. Directly across is Paignton, and if I swing this way a little bit, you're now looking at Torquay, a beautiful bay on the south coast of Devon. The path now climbs up through the woods. You may be able to see people walking up there. This area is actually called Battery Gardens. The path now takes us up those short cliffs and around this small bay. We've been forced away from being close to the coast path now by these modern apartments being built here, who rather selfishly have claimed the seafront for themselves. So we're slightly inland and we're following this footpath here. We're still less than a mile from when we started. It's rather a shame on such a prominent spot that they couldn't have designed something a little bit more architecturally pleasing. These apartments have the appearance of being a prison block. Could have done a lot better, I think. Well, we climbed up a very steep path. We went round the back of the prison blocks, and now we're coming down to this little cove here, and you can see our exit on the other side, the steep steps going out. Very peaceful spot. We're just a mile out of Brixham now. Now we have to climb the track up, right up to the top of those cliffs. Well, that was a sharp climb up from that bay to this path here, which is running through the woods. On our left we have a golf course. We can hear the pinging of the drivers. And on our right, through the trees, you can glimpse the sea. We followed the path through the woods for about 3/4 of a mile, and it's now come down from the top to this little cove. That's the track we came down on. Across here is some sort of fortification and a rather annoying dog. Looking across the bay, we're looking now directly at Torquay. Two and a quarter miles out of Brixham. We're just looking directly across at Torquay. We'll pan around. We have a very short, sharp climb up this field. Two and a half miles out of Brixham, and we're coming to the little bay here. If you can see that viaduct up there, that's the steam railway that goes to Dartmouth, and often you'll see a steam engine and carriages going across the horizon there. Beach huts by the million. We've reached the end of Broad Sands Beach. It's just under 3 miles from Brixham. Now the path has to go inland a bit here. The cliffs are just too difficult to have a path along them. So right at the end here, we take this track up the hill and under the viaduct we saw earlier. A lot of steps. Looking back over Broad Sands Bay, three and a half miles, and we're coming down some steep steps. On the left is Caravan Park. You can see the railway line beneath us. That's for the Dartmouth Steam Railway. Although it's low season now, and I suspect it's not running. Looking straight across at Torquay, and just to the left there, the white cluster of buildings will be Paignton. Another steep flight of steps ahead of us. You can pass under the railway here onto a grassy headland with some pretty good views, but you have to come back the same way. There is no other way off the headland than under this bridge. In the other direction is the entrance to the Waterside holiday park, and down here is the track we're taking, which will shortly lead to that steep flight of steps. Well, that flight was 79 steep steps and a ramp at the bottom. Enough to leave you a little bit breathless. There's another access here across the railway line, this time by bridge, out onto a grassy area, and the signpost tells me it leads to Oyster Cove and Saltern Cove. The signboard here implies that you can take the Saltern Cove turning and then work your way along the coast and then down onto the beach. However, the Southwest Coast Path is signposted slightly more inland, and I'm going to stick to that today. Well, we're looking down now at Goodrington Sands. You can see the railway track still on our left. See a huge water park there in the background, and there's a sort of promenade along the front there that we'll be following. Now this is 4 miles out of Brixham. 4 miles. A rather splendid looking water park, although closed now in the low season. Got a Brewers Fayre pub here, in on the quay. Looks popular. On our left is a pleasure park with a lake, advertising bumper boats, big plastic swans. You'll keep the children amused for 10 minutes. And then the promenade that we're continuing along. Well, we've zigzagged our way up the cliff path. There's numerous paths that do come up the cliffs. Now we come onto a grassy area at the top. We're getting some very clear views of Torquay here from the cliffs just above Paignton. We've now just got a short section of pavements as we descend down to Paignton seafront. We've just done 5 miles out of Brixham. There's a small harbour here at Paignton, but as you can see the tide is right out now. Well, this is Paignton. Looking around the sandy beach, past the entertainment centre, Paignton Pier. As we carry on round, you can see Torquay a little bit further around the coast. Well, that's it. We've walked the 5.5 miles from Brixham to Paignton. A really lovely walk. 2 or 3 sharp climbs in it, but nothing too onerous. One of the great things about this walk is that there's a good bus service between the 2 towns. It just takes 15 minutes. So whichever way you end, you can get the bus back to the start very easily. Just a view back the way we came down past that big building there. Till the next time.